Hello, Rob here from the Flanagan Homestead. I'm standing out in our school garden. The kids' summer is ending soon. Classes start next Monday. But I'm out in the school garden, and I've had a gardening club help me maintain the gardens this summer. But we noticed one thing. We had some tomatoes that are looking really good and red on the top, and then you look at the bottom and they're completely black. Okay, here's another example of a plant, of tomato off of the same plant. And here's some tomatoes that were starting, and then they also have the black spot. So this is what is known as blossom end rot. And when I first picked up a tomato and saw someone say, oh no, it's a disease that's going to spread down a row of tomatoes. But then I realized it was blossom end rot. And what that is when the plant is not drawing up enough calcium, the cell membranes aren't permeable enough and they don't grow properly, and then they start dying out and they're not going to recover. You're going to lose the plant. But this calcium deficiency, it's pretty rare that there's not enough calcium in the soil itself. It can be caused by one of two things. And so I think what happened here, and one of the reasons it happens is inconsistent watering. And so we planted this garden as a class in the spring, and then everybody's been gone all summer long. And I have a gardening club that meets a couple times a week, but sometimes due to vacations or whatnot, we weren't out here. And instead of having a sprinkler on a timer or anything, we were trying to save water and not water the weeds. We've been, when we're out here, watering each plant individually and really soaking it in good, and then coming back the next time we come back, just trying to soak it in good again. But if we miss some time, then we go from really wet to really dry, and the calcium is drawn up from the soil better when the moisture level is more consistent. And so I think that might be one of the reasons it happens. Another reason, well, I believe that's the reason it happened here. Another way that this can happen, blossom end rot, is when the pH is not at the proper level. And one of the key things about testing your pH or having a good pH level is different nutrients are drawn up at better when the pH is more neutral normally. Where I live, the soil is naturally slightly more acidic, so some native plants like it slightly more acidic, but you usually want to be pretty close to neutral, especially with vegetable plants. I'm going to put a chart on here in a second that shows you different nutrients that are drawn up at different pHs. But so if the pH level is not in the proper place, even if there's calcium in the ground and you're watering properly, it's a little bit harder for the calcium or other nutrients to be drawn up. So that's another reason you need to check your pH. You can see from the chart here that calcium has a very small pH range that it can be effectively drawn up from the soil. Much smaller range than other minerals you see on the chart. But it is blossom end rot. If I remedy and get more consistent on the watering, I'm hoping that the plants that fruit later will grow and they can grow well, because it's not a disease that's going to be passed from one fruit to the next. It can actually, if we remedy this situation and the plant is doing a better job drawing up the calcium, we can get some nice red tomatoes all the way around on the same plant that's been struggling. Is where this was happening on the plants that was happening, there's a short section of the row that this was happening because we had established another row and it was getting consistently watered, and these were kind of left out and not watered as consistently. So when we worked our way down the road to where we had everything staked up properly and the kids knew to water it, we are not seeing this on those plants. Well, that's the story of what's going on in our horticulture garden here at the middle school. Thanks for joining me on the Flanagan Homestead, where Christmas trees are my business, teaching, including horticulture, is my job, and outdoor projects are my passion. Hope to see you again soon. Be blessed, everyone.